Hello, everybody, and welcome to another College Hack Q&A video. I'm Dr. Clifford Stemme, CEO and founder of College Hacked, and this is Dr. Lauren Daly, the one who knocks.
I am the one who knocks.
No.
On doors?
I put zero thought into that. She's coming for the bad plans, and she's going to beat them up and replace them with good ones.
I was along for the ride on that one, just like you were, but I liked it.
We need a good title for you. This is so hard. The Great Advisor.
The Great Advisor.
There we go. All right. There is going to be a giveaway at the end of this video. One of our clients who worked with us and was so grateful for the work that we were able to help him with was basically like, hey, I saved like literally tens of thousands of dollars. And he actually donated some money for us to be able to give away consultations to other people out there who might not be able to afford the consultation. So we're going to talk about that at the end of the video. But for now, we're going to go to one of our most contentious, dramatic videos that we've ever posted. And This was Liberal Studies Degrees, Friend or Foe. We had both noticed a lot of people online and even people in consultations with us very hesitant about liberal studies degree, and a lot of people trash talking them and saying, hey, this Chipotle major thing, this build it yourself major, that's silly. And I'll put the video in the description so you can go check it out for yourself, see all of the arguments that I made for why you should sit down and listen instead of shooting your mouth off. And we posted this video. It was one of the most fun videos to write and to put together and to watch. And we're going to go through some of these comments and just kind of look at the fallout of this, sort of crazy ride. First comment comes from Coach Lauren.
Hey.
Don't recognize that person. This is my favorite video you've ever made.
I don't think I've ever commented on a video before, so you should know that I truly mean it.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. Some other great comments. Hey, is that Michael? I have a BLS degree from UMPI. I make a really nice six-figure, a BLS being Bachelor of Liberal Studies, which is a type of Chipotle major. And so he's commenting on the liberal studies degree, basically defending it. And he says, I make a really nice six-figure salary as a marketing director. I could have done any degree, but I love to learn across a myriad of topics. So liberal studies just made sense. The well-rounded experience and knowledge has been invaluable. Plus, I was able to graduate summa cum laude and went on to get my master's from a top 30 business school. I love my Bachelor's of Liberal Studies degree. It's all about your goals and how you use the degree.
Amen, Michael. Nailed it.
Absolutely. Probably the most important thing that I said in that video was when you are making your career plans, do not base your career decisions on how much money your major is projected to make, but on the job that you are aiming for, and then plan backwards from there to be able to get that job, which is basically part of what he just said there, or illustrated. Portable 749, what amazes me is how many people think they know my political beliefs when they hear I have a liberal arts degree.
It's so true. People in sessions are always worried about this. They're like, but what will people think of me? I'm like, what will you think of them if they think that's what your degree is in?
Yeah, that's true. If people are like ignorantly snooty, you can one-up them by being knowledgeably snooty.
Yes, exactly.
But then you have to work so hard to make them feel ashamed of themselves being wrong.
Or not ashamed. I've been in job situations before in interviews where I've had to explain to someone what a build your own major is for and what the value of it is. And I always try my best not to make them feel dumb, but it's like hard to do because why are you judging it if you don't even know what it is? That's not very fair.
There you go. TB4 Jesus 24/7. As an interdisciplinary studies graduate, I 100% recommend it if it supports your goals, such as going to grad school. This type of degree will save you so much time and money. Time and money you could use towards a master's.
Amen.
Yes.
And that's our perspective.
That's really good.
Yes.
Yeah. Just push through that bachelor's, and if you need a master's, spend the money on the master's if you really got to spend money. East County 4605, I want to see Shane and Cliff box in the Tyson versus Paul undercard. They're talking about, I called out YouTuber Shane Hummus for some of his beliefs about liberal studies degrees, and East County's going to lose a lot of money putting his money on Cliff all the way, baby, quote unquote, as he says, because I don't know how to box. I'm not a particularly strong individual, nor do I have good reflexes. I don't really have that fight or flight instinct so much as I
It all went to the brain. All the resources went to Cliff's brain.
I guess. And I wish more had made it that way. Instead
it's okay, that fight got canceled anyway. So
okay, thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah. Trexter9269 follows the meme up with, I want to see a YouTuber boxing match between Cliff and Jake Paul. So not enough for me to box against another, I'm not sure if Shane is scrawny or not, but we'll just say scrawny YouTuber. No, you want to put me up against Jake Paul. Do you want to see me get hurt?
At least they both have faith in you. That's the thing to take away from this.
Cliff could work the inside and wear him down. Is like working the inside where you just kind of like huddle up in a ball and you wait for him to get tired of punching you?
Or maybe inside his head. Like,
inside his head.
Could work the inside, just destroy him from the inside out. You're good at that.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
I just want you to make that face, that exact face.
What in the world does that mean?
This.
I am the nicest person you'd ever know. I'll have you know, I was born in the Midwest. Okay, so I wasn't raised there, but I'm a very nice person.
You are the right amount of nice.
No extra niceness is wasted on me, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Rowinton7369. I graduated with a liberal studies degree after spending way too much time figuring out what I wanted to do for a career, and I agree with Cliff. The salary estimate are not applicable in the least.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
There you have it. Not just us saying it.
Rabbi Jesus IRL, the biggest critics of the degree, don't have one of their own in any field, aka the Bachelor of Liberal Studies or Chipotle degrees at large. HR just wants to check the box unless it's a specialized field. Mm-hmm. And that's what we keep seeing, and that's what we keep saying.
Kind of why we exist.
But we actually have a comment here from somebody who does not like liberal studies degrees. Our friend over at 9-month college grad, Ryan Swait, he jumped in with a comment that had, I think, some good advice and some stuff that I disagree with. And so I just kind of wanted to go through this. Ryan, if you're watching, I appreciate you jumping in and being part of the conversation and giving alternative perspectives. I think that's awesome. He says, Dr. Stemme makes some solid points in this video. I've openly discouraged people from LS on my channel, liberal studies. But the big thing that sticks out here is not all liberal studies degrees are equal. I see a lot of people get very lazy. Liberal studies degrees, they'll take the easiest classes and have no solid foundation in their studies. He says, don't be that person because you're devaluing your degree. And just to kind of pause there, I will say that, again, sometimes we're just checking the box, guys. Yeah. College degrees back in the time of the Renaissance, I don't even remember if they had actual college. College is a weird thing, and it's changed
the idea
every 100 years or so, right? Yeah. But higher education back in those days was this great concept of like, let's elevate the mind of man and let's elevate mankind as a result. There's a lot of really good things going on there. These days, I believe in the power of liberal education. I don't believe in the power of the American higher education system to deliver it effectively.
That's
with
right.
Great inflation, with all of the money that is getting changed hands and the emphasis being on product over, what's actually being offered. And over education itself, I used to be very idealistic, especially going into grad school. Yeah. There's a lot of value in this, and there is value, but there's other ways to get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't devalue learning for yourself, but man, if you want to hack a legitimate degree through legitimate means that schools allow so that you can check a box, and that accomplish your goals, go for it.
Yep. Everybody's use case is different. Maybe you're not in a place in life where you have the luxury of taking your time and money to spend on a degree the way that Ryan is describing. And I think there are different ways for different people, right? Different strokes for different folks. So you have to figure out what's right for you and what your end goal is. And if your end goal is to have the knowledge, then by all means, take the time and learn the knowledge. But if the goal is something apart from that, which our society has created that predicament, then go for what you need.
That was very folksy. Different strokes for different folks. Are you sure you're not from the Midwest?
I am sure of that. Yes, okay. Definitely. I'm not nice.
We got Southern California over here.
That's right.
However, what Clifford is suggesting is very different, more or less. Figure out what you want to do with your degree, then model your degree with classes that actually serve that purpose. Yes, that is totally it.
Whether it's to be easy or to be full of certain knowledge, right?
I think the difference here between what Ryan and I are saying is that, sometimes I would say that it's very legitimate to say, hey, I just want this degree super fast.
Yep.
Depending on what you're going to use it for. There's a right way to do it, and if you structure it properly, guess what? Your degree doesn't suck. I will admit, income data for liberal studies degrees surely includes all the people who have earned these degrees in the laziest way possible, so don't be that person. Do it right. Figure out which job you want or which grad income programs you're trying to get into and structure your degree accordingly. If you do, you'll be just fine. And I really appreciate Ryan's emphasis on goal-based planning, backwards-based planning. So totally agree with him on that. I think that's awesome. And Ryan, thanks for weighing in. All right. That is all. That's us talking about this big video that we put out that, had the chance to
cause some waves,
to ripple, to put some ripples in the YouTube education discussion pond.
You saved yourself on that one. I wasn't sure where that was going, but you did a good job. Came out the other side of that barrel wheel.
It's so warm in here. You just start to hallucinate after a while.
I'm like...
I know, guys, we have this right here, which is the remote control that turns on the air conditioning. Every time we pause filming for a second, this immediately goes on, and we're both just kind of staring at it like, oh, could we please not turn on? It's hot in Las Vegas, and it's hot in a shed with, hey, wait, there are fans in here.
April, we went inside and his wife was like, don't you have fans out there you could be using? He was like, do what?
At the same time, I don't know what they would do to the audio quality.
That's fair.
Poor Lauren, I make her suffer just because I care so much about audio
Truly,
quality.
I'm the main one suffering just because, as a woman, like I'm melting. So I'm like trying to make sure I'm not all, greasy looking over here.
Where were we on this? Let's see. There's some good stuff here. Yeah, we're about to get into some guys. We went and looked at a bunch of questions, and we tried to keep really controversial ones in here.
We probably cut like 70 questions out of the ones I had pulled. So
let's start with a non-controversial one. New subscriber here from Eliquim Jehovah Levanta. Thanks for this video. I'm a homeschooler and I just finished my classes this year, and I was wondering if an online college like WG would be willing to accept me as a homeschooler, and what kind of transcript can I use to enroll for a degree program. I would appreciate it if anyone would be able to help me out with the situation. Thanks. We have sent a few homeschoolers to WGU, haven't we?
We have, definitely. Yeah.
And you have to be at least 16. I mean, they're just looking for your homeschool transcript, right? Like, There's nothing special here.
Yeah, most schools will do, at least Liberty for sure does an honor system where they just do I forget what they call it now. It's like an agreement of authenticity or something like that. But you basically sign a form that says, I promise I did high school. And then sometimes they'll ask for like a list of classes you took with the final letter grade, which your parent can just, create and sign. If you did a co-op or something like that, then that's a little bit more legitimate and easier usually to source an actual transcript from.
And just to clarify, we're not suggesting that your parent creates it out of nothing.
Not out of nothing.
We're we suggest that, like always, homeschool parents should be documenting high school from 9th to 12th grade. Like, that's really, really important. So just pull those legitimate documents you've been keeping and use those. But yeah, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Oh, that's Steph. Would you recommend majoring in social work or psychology? It obviously depends on what you're going to do. Like, if you want to become a social worker, social work's going to be better. What would psychology be better for?
Most people think of psych for like therapy. So she's probably thinking about a master's in social work versus a master's in like licensed professional counseling.
Okay.
Because there's similar tracks in some regards. If you're not sure which, I usually recommend like LPC, licensed professional counselor route. So social work's really hard to hack, actually. And it's very hard to find online. So it all depends on what your end goal is. But psychology and LPC or LMFT, so professional counseling routes, are a little bit easier to go about than social work.
Yeah, psych degrees, super easy to hack, and you're going to have to get a master's degree either way, basically.
Yes.
So, Maria says, are certificates better than a degree to achieve a job?
Depends on your industry.
Yeah, it depends on the job. This is where backwards planning comes in, and you cannot backwards plan until you A, set a goal, and B, research what the requirements are. Then you just keep working your way back. Every time you find a new requirement, you see how to get it. And if that requires requirements, then you see how to get those until you get back to where you are. And now you basically built a roadmap and you know what you need to do next.
And if that sounds overwhelming, let us do it for you, because we're really good at doing that. We do it all the time. We've done it hundreds of times. And also the other thing I would say is if you're not doing career research on LinkedIn, then you're falling short, because that's like the best place to find proof of concept for whatever you're trying to do. You can look up people who have graduated from specific schools, see what their jobs are now, see what their career trajectories have been like. So that's really where you find out, okay, if I graduate from WGU with X degree, can it get me into this position? Then you find real people who have graduated from WGU with that degree in that position, and you know, okay, this is possible.
Yeah, there you go. What the F is a kilometer, Raw?
I like your censored version.
How do I make sure I retain information I'm learning while flying through courses? And are general courses even worth retaining if you're just going to focus on other things? I personally have not been to any sort of schooling for 8 years, so I'm afraid to take a step and getting overwhelmed with schoolwork and not learning anything at all, since I don't think I remember much of what I learned in high school. That is an interesting philosophical question. Like, this is the soul of college hacking that we're discussing here. And that's the big question that a lot of people have is like, aren't you supposed to learn something in college? First thing I would say is that you do learn while you're college hacking. It's just that you tend to put more emphasis and time into learning the things that you really need to be learning, rather than the things that are just sort of these requirements that society has put up for you to be able to get a bachelor's degree so that you can go get a job that has a requirement for a bachelor's degree that it really shouldn't have most of the time. Yeah, a lot of general courses are not. I mean, they're worth retaining. Like, I think that taking an English writing course, I believe personally, is really valuable because you learn about written communication, which is important in a lot of office jobs.
The rest of your life.
And the rest of your life in general, yeah. American government might be a really great choice for a course. But the fact of the matter is like you took all these courses in high school too. Like,
yeah. It's not things you've never been exposed to in your life before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not things that you can't learn outside of the school
That's right.
system either.
Exactly.
I mean, you could go get a tutor and learn this stuff way more effectively than the higher education system could teach it to you.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be afraid about going back. A lot of that high school stuff will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that if you've been out of schooling for 8 years, like let's just estimate that you're 26. I mean, you're just a little bit smarter, a little bit more motivated, a little bit more competent than you were 8 years ago. And it's just going to come right back to you.
Yeah, I would say if you're grappling with this question of do I retain information or do I fly through courses, it is possible to do both, but also really just think about your use case and who you are as a person. If you're an 18-year-old kid, then there's probably going to be more value for you in the general education than there is if you are a grown adult in your 50s and 60s trying to check the box on a degree to maybe get a promotion or something like that.
Yeah.
So you have to take the time to look at your specific individual case and decide and not cheat yourself. Where am I going to find value here and what can I just speed through and not detract from my life with? And that's what the cool thing about hacking is you get that choice. When you're in a standard school setting, that choice is taken away from you. You have to spend as much time as the class and the requirements dictate that you spend on every single course. But in hacking, you get to decide what's going to be valuable to you and what is not. And so I think that's one of the really cool things about hacking.
Oh, man, I could not have said it better myself. That was awesome. Yeah, no, that's totally true. It comes down to personal choice and the ability to get what you need. All right, Chris Durda, here is the big contentious question that I kind of hinted at earlier. I love this one. While keeping a straight face, can you tell me that a college degree has value if you're able to finish it in a short time while not being able to finish at other colleges? Basically, like, if it would take you 4 years at Harvard to finish this degree, but you can finish it in 6 months at UMPI, like, can you tell me with a straight face that actually has value? I have an issue with these specific feel-good stories, the interviews we do with clients who've graduated, is others will follow it, which is the purpose of this video. It'll become an obvious trend like going to ITT Tech and these people being unable to find a job while ending up suing these colleges. Basically, this person is worried that we're sending people off to schools where they will not be able to finish, or sorry, where the schools will like fall apart or it'll be found
reputable.
out. Yeah, it'll get unaccredited, and then all these people are going to be unable to find jobs because they have a degree from a school that nobody respects or cares about. I mean, fascinating question. I really, really love that Chris here is asking the tough questions, and it's a question that, yeah, we're ready to answer. Do you wanna hop into it first, or shall I?
Go for it.
Okay. So yeah, absolutely has value because value is a human assigned concept. Humans decide what has value. Society decides what has value. And a regionally accredited bachelor's degree in the United States has the value of being a regionally accredited bachelor's degree in the United States. And for a lot of employers, that is what is needed to get a job. Now, is somebody who hacks a degree going to spend as much time learning? No. But are they going to learn the core things that need to be learned to be able to achieve that value? Are they not going to, waste an extra second learning things that are not necessary to the graduation process? They're much less likely to, right? Unless it's a personal preference or something like that. So these degrees have value. And this is a concept we talk about a lot of time. Education versus learning.
Yeah.
These are two very different things. Yep. And especially in 2024, the United States, where we have high schools that are falling apart, that are, the grade inflation is terrible. Here in Nevada, you literally, in the public school system, cannot get a 0%. You can't get any lower than a 50% in the public school system because, it hurts people's initiative and it hurts people's feelings and things like that. Yeah. And so you could plagiarize the whole thing and cheat your whole way through and still end up with a 50%. You pull a couple of A's randomly and now you've got a passing grade. Education doesn't take learning seriously enough. Education is so much more about checking boxes and processes. And it's been an industrial approach to education ever since like the Industrial Revolution in the early 1900s. It's a business basically, or it's a state-run feel-goodery system where we want to feel like people are getting educated and contributing, whereas real learning happens like 9 times out of 10 outside of the classroom.
That's right.
And so there is degree in this value in as much as society has said that there is degree in education. Whether you're going to the class, whether you're taking a Sophia course, whether you're taking a CLEP, whether you're Googling it, information, learning, the learning process itself has always had a value. And education, in my experience, in the past 30 years that I've been alive, has never been able to really touch that. And it comes down to self-motivation. It comes down to the ability to access information. And so, yeah, we're going to keep hacking United States bachelor's degrees, and we're going to learn along the way because we do care about learning. But we're going to check an arbitrary box that is set up for a number of questionable reasons so that people can actually live their lives in spite of a vastly unfair educational system. And at the same time, it's still going to be accredited. People are still going to learn.
We're playing by their rules.
Yeah.
We're playing by the system's rules.
The thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, and it's because they've never been a professor in an English 101 classroom or a biology 101 classroom, is that you go in there and there are people who half-ass it the entire time and they still finish, right? Somebody who is hacking a degree and somebody who is sitting in the classroom half-assing it. The person who's hacking it is actually still learning more than this person. But even traditional education classroom, like the highest standard type of stuff, there are still people who are just skating by. And that's, again, because education doesn't take learning seriously enough. So we're checking all the boxes. We're going above and beyond. And we're getting degrees and moving on with our lives.
Yes, 2 short things I would add to that.
Okay.
Very, very well stated. Yes, I think you ranted exactly what I would have said.
3-minute long rant. Yeah.
This person is very conscious of the time that it takes to finish a degree. I would argue they don't understand competency-based education, right? Because if you're telling me that the value comes from the time that you spend, you're just wrong about that. That's just not how it works in this model of education. So that's one thing. And then the other thing would be, this idea that because you have to spend time, you shouldn't be bringing to the table what you maybe already know. And we know from the research that that's actually the opposite of what is true. People who come in using their life experiences, their PLA, we'll call it, prior life credit or experience, they are people who have better outcomes, actually. They are more likely to finish their degrees and more likely to get real world value from them because they're engaging what scaffolding already exists in their mind with new concepts they can then build on that scaffolding with.
That's exactly what my doctoral dissertation was about.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically, that like people who took CLEP exams were more likely to graduate than people who did not.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Anyway, that was great. We have a lot of other questions to answer.
I love the ranting ones, though. Those are the meaningful ones.
Jilla Breeze 7856. How about a daily STEMI University? Competency based, of course. DSU or STEMI Daily U. Love your channel and had a great consultation with Lauren a few weeks ago. Awesome.
I like DSU and I like Jill.
Not gonna lie, guys, I've legitimately put thought into
he has sometimes I get texts
a university would look like. It's not impossible to start one. Yeah. It's incredibly difficult and takes a lot of time and energy and a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm saving up.
That's right. We're for now spending our time and energy and money helping you instead of creating the school process. But we love that idea.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe 20 years down the road we'll have something like that.
We do some consulting for starting up schools that are starting up right now.
That's
so
true.
We're going to learn lots from those things.
Yeah. FR Averky, greetings. What are your thoughts on interdisciplinary MA from Liberty? Thank you both for the great content, creative ideas. Wishing you continued success. Thank you. Yeah, we like the MA of interdisciplinary studies at Liberty. I think I like it slightly less than you do.
I think so too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, pros and I'll do cons.
Yeah, sure. So it all depends on the use case, right? You have to go back to what value is this degree bringing me? But I think it's a really, really cool idea, mainly because at the master's level, as we often talk about, you are now starting to encounter people who think the same way that you do. They're excited about the same things you are. They're not just necessarily there to check the box, at least most of the time. So because of that, if you get to create your own degree and you get to mix a couple of different areas into one master's and you get to touch maybe different industries or different like-minded people and different things that you love, how fun is that? So yeah, the cool conversations is definitely where my mind goes.
I think from a learning perspective, I think it rocks. Yeah. You might spend less time in a particular field and go less deep in that, which at the master's level, you kind of do want to go deep, but each individual class is going to be deeper. And so the opportunity to interact with other people like you, but like you in a bunch of different ways, like, I'll take some English classes, some history classes, some business classes. I think that is pretty cool. Yeah, I think from a learning perspective, I think it rocks. From an education perspective, there's not a lot of jobs out there that are looking for just a master's, any master's. When you're at the master's level, am I
I mean, honestly, most companies run on a rubric system, and if you have a master's, you get hired in at a higher level.
Ooh, okay, that is a good point. There are some industries where if you have a master's, it just shoots you up a level. Pay
or leadership,
scale-wise.
You just need a master's. I get clients like that all the time.
Okay.
They just need a master's.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be careful how I tread here. But there are a lot of industries that are looking for a specific master's. It's
Definitely
different. True. Like at the bachelor's degree level, I estimate that something like 85% of jobs that require a bachelor's degree just want any bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
That percentage is going to be a lot lower at the master's level.
Probably reverse.
So, maybe so, like 15% where you could just have a master's, any master's.
Yeah.
So for some people, makes total sense, especially if you're interested in learning, just want to have some fun, take some college classes that are like in a variety of areas that are all super cool. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to focus on a particular topic, like if I was really interested in learning about F. Scott Fitzgerald, I would take some classes on American modernism literature. I'd take some history classes from the early 1900s. And then I'd take some creative writing classes over here. And, I'd mix it all together. That'd be really cool. And I'd have like this focused topic. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the other thing about those degrees is at the master's level, they almost always have a thesis that's required or a capstone where you're pulling together the reason why you put these classes together.
Yes.
So that's a really marketable thing for different jobs, especially if you're trying to fill a very niche role like data analytics in a supply chain industry or, something real specific where you can mix those two worlds and then go into an employer and say, has there ever been a better prepared candidate than me? No, there has not.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And if you have that chance to argue it, you totally could make it work. Yeah. So I would say I'm just slightly less bullish.
You're more realistic
than you.
About it than I am.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm a little idealistic about it.
Final question, then we got to wrap up here. Why did you both go to Liberty?
I had
30
scholarship.
seconds, maybe. You had a scholarship?
Yeah, that's really the main reason.
Okay.
My sister and my mom both went there, and I swore I wasn't going to go there because they went there because I was a kid. And then I got a scholarship, and I was like, guess I'm going.
I had a master's in English, and I was raised as the son of a pastor. I'm a practicing Christian, and so it was really valuable to me to be able to go to a school and study a master's of English where I could, go to a place that encouraged my Christian faith and look at things from a Christian perspective, topic wise. And so I decided to go to Liberty for my master's in English, and I had been there for like their college for a weekend thing, and they had like cool concerts, and seemed like fun.
They do a really good job at that.
Yeah, I had some friends who went there. It was like 3 hours from where my parents lived, so
Nice.
There were a lot of little things. And they had a GSA program where I could like teach English 101 while getting school paid for, so that was a big thing too.
Nice. Two sides of the coin. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. Final thing, guys, if you are wanting to get a consult paid for by a former client of ours who was so excited about what he was able to experience with us that he wanted to help other people, go ahead and let us know why you want a consultation, what you're going to use it for, what it would mean for you, how it would change your life. And I always look to you as if I'm expecting you to make
I know. I picked the last one. It's your turn.
I know that I bear some responsibility here.
We've done books, hobbies, videos.
Mythical creatures. We've done that. I think, have we done favorite prime numbers yet?
No numbers yet.
All right. Your favorite prime number and why. If you don't know what a prime number is, go ahead and look it up. We will not be accepting any that are not actually prime numbers, okay? So
also, you have to answer the question, because when we go through the comments, sometimes you guys are just answering like why you want the consult, but you're not answering the actual question, and all parts have to be there.
Yeah, we all have to. It all has to be there.
Yes.
We're looking for creative thinkers who explain themselves well. Somebody who is willing to go that silly extra mile. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for letting us be a part of your day, answer some of your questions. Hope that you're able to graduate quickly and inexpensively and build a career that you love. Hope that we get to be a part of that. And happy hacking.